You know that kind of Wampa that sits around his cave all day, sipping on Pat's Blue Ribbon, playing old GameCube games, watching Sanford reruns, and bitching about plot holes in Star Wars? Well, that's me. My name is Larry. Ever since the Star Wars prequels, people have complained that they have screwed up things in the first three Star Wars movies by creating plot holes, such as Leia remembering her mother or Obi-Wan saying he was trained by Yoda. But did they really create plot holes in the Star Wars canon, or just prequel haters finding other reasons to hate the prequels? We will take a look at some of the popular loopholes created by the prequels and debunk each one. Because even if the prequels are not great movies, and Jar Jar's the worst thing since Lumpy, it didn't create any loopholes.
Okay, Larry Wampa, I got a question for you. Why doesn't ObiWan Kenobi know who R2D2 is in A New Hope? He even tells Luke he doesn't remember him. That old man is such a liar.
What do you expect him to say? Hey, I know this R2 unit. He was your father's. All that would do would bring more questions for Luke to ask, things Obi-Wan didn't want to answer yet. Obi-Wan and Yoda didn't want Luke to even know Vader was his father.
Told you, did he? Yes. Unexpected this is. And unfortunate.
So it was best to play dumb and act like he didn't know who R2 was. Also, this isn't really a lie, as he tells Luke.
Well, then the droid does belong to you.
Don't seem to remember ever owning a droid.
The key word here is owning. He doesn't remember owning a droid. And he's right, he never did own R2D2. This is how some fans would rather see the scene go.
Well, then the droid does belong to you.
I don't remember ever owning a droid. Oh wait, yes, it's R2D2. I do remember him now. He belonged to your father, before I cut your father's legs or arms off.
You knew my father?
Very much.
Have you been in many battles?
R2 and your father? They were in a lot of battles during the Clone Wars. Let's go to my house, and I'll tell you all about it.
Why doesn't Uncle Owen know who that 3PCO fella is or R2 the D2 when they show up at his place? They've both been there before.
Well, first off, C3PO looked totally different. He wasn't even the same color. Also, Owen deals with buying droids for years. He has had many different ones, and remember, he only saw 3PO for about 2 minutes. Maybe if he was around 3PO a little longer, he would have put it together who he was. Who's gonna recall a machine they had 20 years ago? As for R2D2, we know there are many like him also, even the same color. Owen never really even sees R2 in A New Hope, except for maybe a few seconds. It would have been more unbelievable if he knew who R2 and 3PO was. But this is how some fans would like to have seen things go down. Well, oh well, if it isn't my good friend C3PO, I haven't seen you in a long time.
Sir, I have no idea what you're referring to. My memory was erased by
I have
Bella.
no time for all that right now. Hey, is that little blue guy R2D2? How's he been?
Of course you have no time for that, sir. And yes, that's R2D2, my companion and longtime friend. And yes, Anakin's droid.
Ah, Larry, you think you're so smart. Well, if you're so smart, why don't you explain this? Why does Obi-Wan say he was trained by Yoda, when in fact he was trained by Qui-Gon Jinn? Huh? Can you answer me that one?
Well, actually, Obi-Wan says this.
There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me.
And he also says this.
Was I any different when you taught me?
And as we saw in the prequel, Yoda does train the younglings, so in a way, he did train Obi-Wan. Would have the scene with Obi-Wan telling Luke about Yoda been better if it went like this? Luke, oh Luke, Luke, you will go to the Dagobah system.
Dagobah system?
There you will find Yoda, the Jedi that sat around a lot on the Jedi Council while I was being trained by Qui-Gon Jinn. He was my master when I was a Padawan. And I know this name means nothing to you, and it has no bearing on anything you have to do, But I don't want people to ask later why didn't you bring it up when you were dying out here in the snow. Oh snap, here comes that cowboy wannabe Han Solo. Later, dog.
Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Luke that when he met Anakin, he was already a great pilot. But really, he was just a dumb little slave boy.
This is pod racing.
Come on, R5. Now that's too easy. Maybe by the original trilogy timeline, R2's booster rockets were broken. The rebels had other things more important to waste funds on. That Leia hairdo isn't gonna pay for itself. R5D4. Didn't Luke call you an R2 unit?
It's R2 unit has a bad motivator, look!
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Stupid Luke.
Why doesn't Chewie correct Han about the Force and all that junk? After all, he knew Yoda and the Jedi Knights. Why did he let Han talk jive about the Force, like it wasn't something real?
Oh, now they're reaching for questions. Look, Han and Chewie have known each other long before New Hope, so I'm sure the topics come up. And it probably went something like this.
Oh, come on, Chewie. Don't tell me you believe in all that Jedi magic garbage. Do you really believe that? It's smoke and mirrors. They don't do anything that can't be explained with good old sleight of hand. Don't be a fool, Chewie.
Why doesn't R2-D2 know who Yoda is when he meets him, or at least tell Luke who he is?
It wasn't R2's place to rat out Yoda. Yoda wanted to meet Luke, test him out, before revealing who he was. R2-D2 isn't C-3PO. He knows when to speak up and when to shut up.
How is it that Obi-Wan forgot all about Princess Leia? Remember this thing, Larry?
That boy is our last hope.
No. There is another.
How does this imply that Obi-Wan doesn't remember Leia? He knows Leia, and he knows she's off doing her own thing, not working with Yoda, or seems to really care about the whole Force Jedi thing. Obi-Wan knows of Leia, of course, but he doesn't see her as someone willing to train and help them, until Yoda says, "There is another." That doesn't mean he doesn't know who she is. It just means he's never considered her as being the one to fight Vader or the Emperor. Simple as that.
Well, this is one even you can't answer, Mr. Wampa. How does Leia say she can remember her mother, yet her mother died during childbirth?
Man, you finally got me. Damn, that's one major plot hole. Wait a minute. Didn't Yoda answer this in Empire Strikes Back?
Through the Force, things you will see, other places, the future, the past, old friends long gone.
Leia!
Leia is strong in the Force. She's a Skywalker, so it wouldn't be a shock that she has never had a vision of Padme, at least during her childhood. Well, that just about does it, at least for the major ones anyway. As you can see, there's no plot holes created by the prequels that can't easily be explained. Did we miss any? If so, leave it in the comments below, and myself, or my secretary, will easily explain how it's not a plot hole. And until next time, this is Larry Wampa, saying keep your cave warm, and your tauntaun meat even warmer.
Misa wanna rant next time. Misa got a lot to rant about. Misa wanna rant about the Jews in Hollywood.
Next on Magnum, is Higgins being hustled by a gold-digging hussy? Is Magnum losing his mind? There's action, surprises, and fireworks in paradise on Magnum P.I. Next.